Hi, I'm Olivia Long, founder and CEO of SMSFAI. And a question I'm often asked is, what is crypto and how can I find out what I should be buying? And it's a question that we can't actually answer, and I'll go into the reasons why in just a moment. So with me today, I have John and Vicky from, do you pronounce it HODLNOTS?
That's correct, yes.
Correct. Welcome. A lot of people won't actually know what that stands for.
So, well, can we tell you? A lot of people might have heard of cryptocurrency, and a lot of people who are in the cryptocurrency space often hold on for a long time. Or they go through these emotional periods, or the market periods where there's up and down this roller coaster, and they hold on for dear life. And the word hodl was actually a mispronunciation or mistyping of the word hold for a long time. And so hodl became this term where people are holding their crypto assets for a while. And within our company, HODLNOTS, which is part of Bitcoin Trade and Forecast, we've been around for a while, but we don't hodl as much. We teach people how to scalp trade, get in and out in a couple of minutes, hence the name HODLNOTS. But we are so much more than just scalp trading.
Yeah, great. And look, one thing that a lot of people don't realise and will come to appreciate in Australia is that there's not a financial advisor or a broker anywhere that is licensed to sit down and tell you where to put your $100,000 if you want to invest in crypto. They just don't exist. And that's because it's still a relatively unregulated area in some places. And in Australia, it's an area that nobody can get professional indemnity insurance to cover giving advice on crypto because of the volatility in the markets. So for those people that want to trade crypto, the next question they ask is then, well, where can I find out more information about what crypto is and where I start? And that's part of the reason why we've got you here today. So can we start with the number one question I get around crypto is what is crypto?
Sure, I'll take that one. So crypto is the terminology cryptocurrency really was stemmed from cryptography, and cryptography has been around for decades in coding and so forth. However, cryptocurrency really refers to the digital assets that we find. I mean, we know that traditional fiat, dollars, Australian dollars, rands, while you do get printed money, really it is actually just digital. The numbers in your bank account are just digital. However, cryptocurrency is also a digital asset, but it is actually verified through an online ledger system, online chain, like the internet, really. And it isn't controlled by any bank, any government, any sort of institution, and it's decentralized. So getting away from centralized institutions. So the fact is that cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, some of you might have heard of, is such a really honest, authentic, transparent alternative to traditional fiat, because you can actually trace this on what we call the blockchain. So cryptocurrency is just a digital asset, but is a lot more trustworthy than traditional assets, yeah.
And that's a name that a lot more of the institutions are starting to use for cryptocurrency at the moment, is digital assets. So we sort of tend to hear those two terms that essentially mean the same thing.
True, and I just want to add to that, if people think about crypto tokens, so there are coins and there are tokens, they're different, but if you just think about them kind of like stocks, so a lot of people know what stocks are, obviously, in the stock market, and most of the coins and tokens have a company behind them, and they issue tokens or coins. So a lot of, and just in saying that, some tokens and coins don't have a company behind them, they have a project behind them, but we actually teach people, where to look and where not to look on those. But if you think about them as stocks, that's a kind of an easier way to think about crypto. So they're just digital tokens that represent a company, just like stocks, but they're just a little bit more volatile than normal stocks as well. And they're on the blockchain, as John said, which makes them a little safer, because even though no one controls it, many people have to agree that a certain transaction happened, so it's actually safer. And obviously blockchain isn't just crypto, blockchain is used for all sorts of things now. But blockchain, a lot of people think of blockchain as crypto, and that's why it's so safe as well.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell us a little bit, John, then about what it is that you do and what you can offer investors?
Absolutely. Well, we understand that for a lot of investors, the cryptocurrency space, cryptocurrency markets can be quite daunting. You know, there's this terminology that we're throwing around here, such as blockchain and what is an Ethereum, you know, like, so we get that, and we understand that a lot of investors for long term, whether they're saving up for retirement, they're looking to have their assets, digital assets, or traditional finance assets appreciate in value. We get that. We understand people don't want to get involved in the hands-off. But however, we found that more and more, not just Australians, but globally around the world, people are wanting to actually learn how to understand the charts. And somebody asked me the other day, when should I buy Bitcoin? And I said, well, today. Today is always the best answer, because you forget about it in a month's time, a year's time, you're like, oh, I should have bought. However, a lot of people also want to understand how they can add to their long-term HODLs, or their long-term holds, their long-term positions. So if anyone is within a self-managed super fund, such as SMSFAI, who would like to add to their long-term crypto position, they want to know, well, when do I buy? How do I read the charts? Is it going up? Is it going down? You know, yes, I saw it was going down from yesterday, but what is the actual trend of it? Well, we know Bitcoin goes sideways sometimes, and there's other external market influences that we don't have control over. But what we do have control over is our understanding of what is happening on the day charts, etc. So HODLNOTS, for the last 6 years, we've taught more than 3,500 people around the world how to read those charts. We use a very simple model. We use a 1 minute time frame, which is actually called scalp trading, when you're in and out in a couple of minutes. But the core concept out of our courses that we offer is that people learn how to read the charts, and learn how to read the charts with indicators that tell you when to get in and when to get out safely. And that's what we have offered for the last 6 years. We do live courses, self-paced courses, but our key point is trying to teach anyone and everyone who wants to learn more about crypto how to trade safely and how to read those charts, so they could add to the long-term HODLs of Bitcoin and other such cryptocurrencies.
Okay. And for self-managed super fund trustees, a benefit of running your own fund is that if you are going to educate yourself for the purposes of making more out of your retirement savings, that the fund can pay for fees for you to do training courses and to educate yourself. But I know what I liked about your course is that the fees were very competitive when I benchmark it against some of what I've seen in the market. So I know for a lot of investors, it would be a bit of a no-brainer to sort of sign up and go through it. So maybe if you could run us through what they are, that'd be great.
Yeah, certainly I can do that if you'd like. So I will share my screen, and there we go. So this is HODLNOTS.com. So this is HODLNOTS, our company. And if you scroll down the website, you will start to see the products that we offer. So as John was saying, we do have a core course called the HODLNOTS Foundational Course, but we do have 3 ways people can join that course. So we do have right here a live foundational course, which means we teach you over Zoom. It's a 2.5-week, quite intensive course. We have calls every day. You get homework, you have to answer to us. So it's actually, we hold you accountable basically in this course, because even though it's inexpensive, let's say, we still want you to succeed in the course. We don't just want you to take the course and go, oh, that wasn't very good. So we want you to succeed. And by the end of 2.5 weeks, you're actually reading the indicators, you're analyzing the charts, and you're understanding how to buy and sell. So that is our live course. And in fact, we have one on right now. And the other type of course we have is a self-paced course here on the left. And that is a video course. So it has the same information as we teach on the live course, but you can take up to 3 months to complete it. But again, we don't just leave you. We don't just go, we don't just say, here's the videos, go for your life. We actually have calls twice a week that you can jump on and ask questions. So again, we support you every step of the way. And then we also have a private foundational training course because we understand that some people aren't very comfortable in a group setting, or they actually don't like videos. But we have another course which is one-on-one. So we sit with you one-on-one. We can go as fast or as slow as you'd like. And we can also tailor it just a little bit more. So if you're interested in something that we don't normally teach on the course, or we can delve into something a bit more than we normally teach, because it's up to you. So there are, those are really our three core ways to deliver our product. And then those actually go to this website, and I like to show both websites because we are under a banner called Bitcoin Trend and Forecast. So we are part of Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, but we are our own company. So on Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, you will see the same products. And in fact, if you click this one, you'll go to this website. I like to show that because people go, oh, where have I just gone? So if you look inside one of these courses, you can see that, first of all, as you said, Liv, it's very inexpensive. It's $780 US. So that ends up being about $1,200 Australian at the moment. And we've seen courses out there for $5,000, $6,000. So we like to keep this inexpensive because, quite frankly, we're educators and we want people to take control of their own money. So we want people to know when to buy, know when to sell, not just listen to someone on Twitter. As you said, there's really no one out there that can tell Australians at the moment when to buy, when to sell. So people are going onto YouTube and Twitter and following random people and getting into all sorts of problems, with all due respect. So we actually say, no, don't do that. Come onto the course, ask the questions, learn how to do it yourself, and then you can decide how you want to trade. Do you want to hold? Do you want to trade on the side? I know self-managed super funds have a lot of rules around what you can and can't do, but you can always do it on the side as well. So if you go here, you can actually start to see what we teach down here. So this particular method of delivery has 50 modules. So we go through what is cryptocurrency, which is actually what you asked at the beginning. So what is cryptocurrency? What the different trading styles, intro to scalping, which John mentioned that we do like to teach people how to trade quickly, because quite frankly, if we're on a live Zoom call, we can't wait 3 hours for a trade to play out. So we actually do it on the smaller time frames. But as you can see, it goes through all of the programs that you'll need to trade. So it's, trading just isn't here, I'm going to buy some. Trading is learning how to go onto an exchange, which is where you buy cryptocurrency, and navigate a way around the exchange. It's about learning the program that you use to analyze the charts. And it's learning Zoom even. So if you're on the Zoom call, some people don't know how to work Zoom. But so it's a lot of modules around how to do that. And before you get into the actual analysis of the charts, it's a real step-by-step procedure. So introduction to all of the places where you will be trading and where you will be analyzing the charts. And then we get into all the indicators that you'll need. And then we actually show you how you can trade on the shorter time frames or on the longer time frames, which means you can do really quick trades, minutes, which is what John and I do, or you can trade a year. So you could buy it and not sell it for a year, which you would probably do more of your super fun. So you can have a little bit of fun with both. So it's really all about that. We go into exchanges because where you buy and sell crypto is also quite a minefield in Australia. So there are lots of places to do that. So we actually help you along the way with that. And crypto is not something that you can jump into and know natively, because it has so much jargon, so much foreign things that you're not used to. So we help you along the way. So it's quite a comprehensive course, and we do that over, this particular one is 3 months with the live support, or you can do it on Zoom for 2.5 weeks, or you can do it one-on-one, and it takes as long or as fast or as short as you'd like. So we think it works. As John said, we've trained over 3,000 people since 2019. Bitcoin Trend and Forecast has been around since 2016. So we've been around for a long time. We're not going anywhere. And Bitcoin Trend and Forecast does have other products. We wanted to focus today on the training and education side, but we do have other products as well that you can go into after you're trained and educated. So thank you for letting me show you that. And that is our two websites.
Perfect. Thank you, Vicky.
Yes, so to add to that, Liv, one of the things as well that both of you mentioned is that there isn't really anyone in the right space in Australia to be giving good advice around which coins to look at. And within our company, Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, we have signals. But the great news is that within our course, we teach people how to find coins and how to find those coins that have got good liquidity, meaning can you put a sizable amount of dollar position in there to be able to get into the trade and then hold it then for long term, or trade it. We teach people again how to trade in the different time frames, and within finding these coins, it's not just about liquidity, it's about availability in terms of which exchanges can you trade on within Australia. And I'm going to share my screen very quickly just to give a little glimpse as to how that works. I mean, our website, HODLNOTS.com, we have what we call downloadable watch lists, and that is used to watch coins. And it is obviously dependent on which exchange you're looking to trade on or have access to. So if I quickly share my screen, have a quick little sneak peek around what people can expect to see when they're going through our live course or one of our other courses as well. Now, this is one of our indicators. This is a custom indicator that we built a couple of years ago, and what we teach people how to read. It may look a little daunting. It's all these colored lines and like, oh, this looks like a dragon head. What's going on here? No, none of that. We teach people how to read these colored lines and what they really mean. I mean, these are support and or resistance, depending on where these green or red candles are. We tell them this is Bitcoin on the day currently here on the 6th of August. And we can tell you that currently there is good support for Bitcoin in and around this price range. How do we know that? You can see it's kind of bouncing off the screen line here. There are a couple of other things that are starting to indicate that Bitcoin is, after having dropped down to about, we saw down here the other day, about 112, 111,000, that is now starting to turn around. And people are like, ooh, okay, well, what do I need to see in place before I maybe add some more Bitcoin to my long-term position within my self-managed super fund? When would be a good time to buy? And we teach that. We also, if people are looking to buy into other coins, they might have heard of something like Ripple or Ethereum. We teach people how to read those and how to add them. This is what we call a watch list. This program or this platform is called TradingView. It's probably the best analytical platform out there when it comes to not just assessing and analyzing cryptocurrency, but you can do this for gold, for stocks, and for so much more. And we teach people as part of our course how to navigate around TradingView, how to add all of these indicators. Sure, what do they mean? How to add all of these. Well, this is a watch list for Binance. I trade a lot on Binance Global. And how to add all of these coins. Now, most of these are what we call alternate coins, alternate to Bitcoin. And a lot of these we trade, scalp trade, for the volatility of them. But you could take any of these and be able to look at it on whatever time frame. This is, as I mentioned, the day chart. You could look at it on a 1 hour time frame, a 4 hour time frame, 12 hour, etc., and be able to understand where it is going. What is the trend? All of these indicators here that I'm showing all indicate trend to some degree or another, and you be able to read on these different time frames. Okay, when would be a good time to trade? I want to trade for a couple of hours for Bitcoin. When would be a good time? I'm going to start on the 1 hour and I'm going to look at these other time frames. But again, as mentioned, we teach people how to find coins in which they want to trade. Obviously, the bigger the market cap, meaning the ceiling really in terms of the dollar positions within that, the money into those coins, altcoins or Bitcoin, would dictate, maybe you want the bigger ones that have more liquidity, more stability versus the ones that we trade in minutes that often move 20%, 30%, sometimes in a matter of minutes, but don't necessarily have great liquidity in terms of $100,000, etc. But we teach all of that and this and much more within our course. And again, anybody who joins us for the course gets our 15-in-1 indicator called the HODLNOTS indicator. And one of the other things as well that we do teach, and one of my favorites, is a different indicator and trading style, which works on something called pivots. And this is our HODL Fire. All right, it works slightly different to our other indicator, but we still make use of the concept of timeframes and an understanding of that. And you could literally just use this with an understanding of timeframes, of knowing when to get in to say Bitcoin, or whether we look at something like Ethereum, when would be a good time to buy. All right, we teach all of this in our course and so much more.
Awesome. So much information there. I love it. It's exciting. For people who have the time and want to learn how to invest, it certainly can be a full-time job there for sure. So thanks very much for your time today. That was very informative. I'll have all of your details in the description next to the YouTube video. So thanks again. Have you got any closing comments for our clients?
Well, I'd just like to say that we know that the concept of cryptocurrency can be quite daunting. And as more and more different generations, we know that the boomers versus the millennials have different approaches and different experience when it comes to trading. But the only way to really get past the fear or anxiety or worry around certain things is to educate yourself. I wouldn't say go to the school of YouTube or X or wherever where there's some good information.
Yeah.
But having a systematic, foundational set of guidelines when it comes to learning, such as one of our courses, is the best way to kind of get past that fear. Anytime we can educate ourselves and enlighten ourselves things, we master that fear and we have to become comfortable and then competent.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thanks again for your time and we'll see you soon.